The United States Penitentiary on Alcatraz Island, often just called Alcatraz, was a high-security federal prison located 1.25 miles off the coast of San Francisco. It's famous for several reasons, but most notably for a daring escape attempt by three inmates in 1962. However, what makes this story even more fascinating is that one of the escapees actually sent a letter to the FBI 50 years after successfully breaking out of the prison. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into this incredible story, exploring the details of the escape, the lives of the escapees, and the mysterious letter that reignited interest in this decades-old case. Before we get into the escape, let's take a moment to understand the backdrop. Alcatraz housed some of the most infamous criminals in American history, from Al Scarface Capone, who dominated the organized crime scene during Prohibition, to George Machine Gun Kelly, a notorious gangster known for his involvement in the kidnapping of a wealthy oil magnate. Alcatraz also held Boston mob boss James Whitey Bulger and Harlem drug kingpin Ellsworth Raymond Bumpy Johnson. Each of these inmates contributed to the prison's fearsome reputation. Capone, in particular, left an indelible mark on Alcatraz. His Chicago operation, which included bootlegging, prostitution, and gambling, made him one of the most feared and powerful criminals of his time. Despite being convicted of tax evasion and sentenced to 11 years in prison, Capone's influence continued to loom large, even while he was isolated in Alcatraz. George Machine Gun Kelly was another infamous inmate. He earned his nickname from his favorite weapon, a Thompson submachine gun. Kelly's criminal career included bootlegging, bank robbery, and his most notorious crime, the kidnapping of oil tycoon Charles Urschel in 1933. This crime led to his capture and life sentence, eventually landing him in Alcatraz. James Whitey Bulger, a feared crime boss from Boston, was known for his ruthless control over the city's organized crime scene. His time at Alcatraz was a mere blip in his criminal career, but it added to the prison's lore of housing America's most dangerous criminals. Ellsworth Raymond Bumpy Johnson, a prominent figure in Harlem's underworld, was also briefly incarcerated in Alcatraz. Known for his smooth demeanor and sharp intellect, Johnson's influence extended beyond the prison walls, and he remained a significant figure in the criminal world. The prison was designed to be inescapable, surrounded by the cold, strong currents of San Francisco Bay. Yet in June 1962, inmates Clarence Anglin, John Anglin, Frank Morris, and Allen West made an audacious bid for freedom. The escapees were not new to the world of crime. Frank Morris, born in Washington, D.C. on September 1, 1926, had a troubled youth. His life of crime began at the tender age of 13, leading to a series of arrests and convictions by his late teens. Morris had a remarkable IQ of 133, placing him in the top 2% of the general population. Despite his intelligence, his criminal activities escalated, culminating in a daring escape from the Louisiana State Penitentiary while serving a 10-year sentence for bank robbery. Recaptured during a burglary a year later, Morris was sent to Alcatraz on January 20, 1960, becoming inmate number 81,441. John and Clarence Anglin, brothers from Donaldsonville, Georgia, were known for their unbreakable bond and extraordinary swimming abilities. Their most significant heist was a 1958 bank robbery in Columbia, Alabama, leading to 35-year sentences and multiple prison transfers before arriving at Alcatraz. John on October 24, 1960, as inmate AZ 1476, and Clarence on January 16, 1961, as inmate AZ 1485. Allen West, born in New York City, was arrested for car theft in 1955 and incarcerated at the Atlanta Penitentiary. His repeated escape attempts from various prisons led to his transfer to Alcatraz in 1957, where he was assigned inmate number AZ 1335. These four inmates, having crossed paths during previous incarcerations, found themselves in adjacent cells at Alcatraz in December 1961. Recognizing an opportunity, they hatched an elaborate escape plan, with Frank Morris as the mastermind. They began by widening the ventilation ducts beneath their sinks, using discarded saw blades, metal spoons, and an improvised electric drill made from a vacuum cleaner motor. They concealed their work with painted cardboard and drowned out the noise with Morris's accordion during music hour. Once the holes were large enough, the inmates accessed an unguarded utility corridor behind their cells, leading to a vacant upper level of the cell block. Here they set up a clandestine workshop to fashion life preservers from over 50 raincoats and additional materials. To cover their absence during head counts, they crafted lifelike dummy heads from a mixture of soap, toothpaste, concrete dust, and toilet paper, finishing them with paint from the maintenance shop and hair collected from the barbershop floor. On the night of June 11, 1962, the escapees placed these dummy heads on their pillows and began their escape. However, Alan West encountered an unexpected obstacle: hardened cement around his vent. Despite his efforts, he couldn't remove the grill in time, and by the time he freed the vent, his companions had already left. Resigned, he returned to his cell, missing out on the opportunity for freedom. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers navigated through the utility corridor, climbed the ventilation shaft, and emerged on the prison's rooftop. Despite an unexpected loud crash, they proceeded, descending a 50-foot kitchen vent pipe to the ground. They then scaled two 12-foot barbed wire fences and reached the northeast shoreline of Alcatraz, a blind spot in the prison security system near the power plant. Using a stolen concertina, they inflated their raft and launched it into the cold waters of San Francisco Bay, aiming for Angel Island, 2 miles to the north. With each stroke of their improvised paddles, they propelled themselves further from the prison walls that had confined them. In the days following the escape, a massive search by air, sea, and land yielded little evidence. A paddle and a wallet containing contact information for the escapees' friends and family were found near Angel Island. Scraps of the raft were discovered near the Golden Gate Bridge. Despite these findings, no human remains were found, leading the FBI to initially believe the escapees had drowned. After the escape, Alan West cooperated fully with investigators, avoiding charges related to the escape plot. Now let's fast forward to 2013. A letter surfaced, purportedly from John Anglin, one of the escapees. The letter, sent to the San Francisco Police Department, claimed that John, Clarence, and Frank Morris had survived the escape. Here's what the letter said. My name is John Anglin. I escaped from Alcatraz in June 1962 with my brother Clarence and Frank Morris. I'm 83 years old and in bad shape. I have cancer. Yes, we all made it that night, but barely. Frank passed away in October 2005. His grave is in Alexandria under another name. My brother died in 2011. If you announce on TV that I will be promised to first go to jail for no more than a year and get medical attention, I will write back to let you know exactly where I am. This is no joke. This is for real and honest truth. I could tell you that for 7 years I lived in Minot, North Dakota in Fargo, 1990 to 2005. But too damn cold, had to get the hell out. I lived in Seattle for most of my years after the escape. I'm in Southern California now. John stated he was the last surviving member, suffering from cancer, and offered to turn himself in exchange for medical treatment. The FBI analyzed the letter but couldn't definitively prove its authenticity. However, it reignited interest in the case, leading to renewed speculation and investigation. Some believe the letter is genuine, while others remain skeptical. To this day, the fate of the Alcatraz escapees remains one of America's greatest mysteries. Did they drown in the treacherous waters of San Francisco Bay? Or did they manage to escape and live out their lives in secrecy? The evidence is inconclusive, and the truth may never be known. What we do know is that their story continues to captivate and intrigue people around the world, symbolizing a timeless tale of determination, ingenuity, and the quest for freedom. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the escapees made it out alive? Or did they meet their end in the cold waters of San Francisco Bay? Let us know your theories and stay tuned for more fascinating stories from history.